All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are building a professional framework for understanding cycles. We're going to strip away the mysticism you usually hear and instead build a purely mechanical tool, one based on orbital physics. We're calling it the Cosmic Compass, and it's designed specifically to map recurring patterns in market behavior. We've all heard this question a million times. But for our purposes, as analysts, this question has nothing to do with personality. It has a much deeper, much more functional meaning. It's not about who you are, but when you entered the cycle.
And this is where we pivot. We are not using this system to analyze people. We're using it to analyze capital flows and market sentiment. The source material is very clear about this. The goal is to line up the Earth's position in its orbit with observable, repeating patterns in economic behavior. So let's just rebuild this whole system from the ground up, but with an analyst's eye for precision. To do that, we've got a really clear path. First, we're going to define our terms, get really precise. Then we have to correct a huge misconception about constellations that trips almost everyone up. After that, we'll build our main analogy, the cosmic compass, and finally, we'll use that to map out the entire orbital system. Okay, so let's start with the absolute basics, our foundational definitions. Before you can use any analytical tool to manage a portfolio, you have to know exactly what its components are and how they actually function. So when we say sign, what we're technically talking about is a solar house. The easiest here to think about it is as a fixed unit of measurement. The Earth's orbit around the sun is a 360-degree circle, right? Well, that circle is divided into 12 30-degree sectors. Each one of those sectors is a solar house. It's just a precise measure of spatial position. Simple as that. And this right here is the most crucial point for our analysis. A sign isn't describing a personality type, it's a timing signal. It tells us the specific measurable location of the Earth on its annual journey. It tells us exactly where we are in a recurring 365-day cycle of human and, yes, economic activity. Next up, we absolutely have to address the single biggest misunderstanding in this entire field. It's one that can completely derail any kind of serious analysis, and that is the fundamental difference between signs and constellations. Just look at the clear distinction here. On the left, a sign, our solar house, is a fixed 30-degree slice of Earth's orbit. It's tied directly to our seasons. It is a stable, reliable measurement tool. Now, on the right, a constellation is just a random pattern of distant stars in the background. Sure, ancient observers used them as a visual reference, but our view of them actually shifts over thousands of years. You can't build a reliable analytical model on a shifting background. You need a fixed, measurable constant. And this quote just gets right to the heart of it. For tracking cycles here on Earth, like our seasons or market behavior, the only data point that matters is the Earth's actual position in its orbit around the sun. The distant stars, they're simply irrelevant to this mechanical system. Okay, so now that we've made that critical distinction, we can build our primary analytical tool. We're going to completely reframe the zodiac as a functional navigational instrument for the Earth's annual cycle. Forget all the mythology. For our purposes, this system is a 360-degree compass. That's it. It has cardinal directions, it has precise degree markings, and it allows us to pinpoint our exact location within the annual economic and behavioral cycle, just like a navigator uses a compass to find their position at sea. And every good compass has its cardinal points, right? North, south, east, west. So does ours. And these 4 points anchor the entire system. 0 degrees Aries marks the spring equinox, that's our east. 0 Cancer is the summer solstice, our north. 0 Libra is the autumn equinox, that's west. And 0 Capricorn, the winter solstice, our south. These are not arbitrary dates. They are the 4 major pivot points of the Earth's year, and quite possibly the market's year as well. So now that we have our 4 cardinal anchors locked in, we can map out the entire 360-degree orbit with all 12 solar houses. We can finally fill in all the details on our compass. And the math is just so simple and elegant. You've got a 360-degree orbit, you divide it by 12, and you get 12 equal sectors of exactly 30 degrees each. It's this precision that makes it a potentially viable analytical framework for timing things like entry and exit points. So the Earth travels through this compass counterclockwise. The cycle kicks off at our eastern cardinal point, the spring equinox, with Aries. You can think of this as the planting season for new capital. It then progresses through Taurus and Gemini, leading all the way up to that northern cardinal point, Cancer, which marks the peak energy of the summer solstice. After that summer peak, we hit our western cardinal point, Libra, at the autumn equinox. This is a time of distribution, of harvest. The cycle then continues through Scorpio and Sagittarius until we finally reach the southern cardinal point, Capricorn, at the winter solstice, a period of consolidation. And from there, Aquarius and Pisces lead us right back to the start of spring at Aries, completing the whole circuit.
And here it is, the complete system, all laid out. You can see the clean, logical structure. 4 seasons, each one initiated by a cardinal point, and each containing 3 distinct 30-degree phases. For a portfolio manager, you could see spring as a period of initiation and growth, summer, peak expansion, autumn, a distribution phase, and winter, a period of contraction or consolidation. These are the kinds of rhythms that institutional investors could potentially use to adjust portfolio risk.
So, to summarize our briefing here, a sign is just the technical term for a 30-degree segment of Earth's orbit, a solar house. This system is based entirely on our planet's location relative to the sun and has nothing to do with distant stars. Its 4 cardinal points are anchored by the start of the seasons, and most importantly, it functions as a precise 360-degree compass for navigating the annual market cycle.
And all of this leaves us with one final and really crucial question. We've just established a mechanical, predictable map of the Earth's annual cycle, a cycle that has governed human behavior for millennia. So if this cosmic compass can so accurately track these fundamental patterns of energy use, agriculture, and even collective mood, what does that imply about its potential to track the recurring cycles of investor sentiment and market behavior that are built right on top of them? Now that is the next question to explore.